Staking is about to explode on Ethereum. You guys do not want to miss it. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into Tech Path. I want to thank our sponsor today, and that, of course, is Lake 3. If you guys want to check this one out, this is an access to RWAs without tokenization. Lake 3 offers a revolutionary multi-utility token bridging the gap between the water industry and blockchain without tokenizing the water itself. You guys can buy, sell, secure, and donate water or invest in the water resources, all available over on their website. Also, check out their water launchpad. This is where you can get into ownership of the water industry. This is another RWA use case and utility. So just visit Lake 3, which is lak3.io. You can visit their website, learn a little bit more about what they're doing there, along with their roadmap into the future, and see exactly where the project is heading. Also, check them out over on X, and that is LAKE_LAK3. So check out the RWA project as it starts to move into kind of a new area of utility. All right, so let's jump into this first tweet right here. Donald Trump is now starting to stake ETH. Let me say that again. The president of the USA is staking Ethereum. And of course, you can kind of see what World Liberty is doing right there. And if you look at their transaction history, you can see it right there on their asset allocation with staked ETH, holding at about 32 million. Now, granted, sure, they got 182 million right now in ETH as their lead platform, and if you look at Ethereum overall, almost 356 million overall. So very powerful on the ETH train for sure. Pretty insane that Trump has staked ETH before the Ethereum Foundation. So people are getting in on this one. Kind of fun because there was a lot of tweets about this. Lido, of course, jumping in. Wait a minute, what's going on? And then, of course, you've got Constantine talking about, hey, well, maybe we could do something like, the second foundation for Ethereum. So what he's talking about there is a project that is called p2p.org. And they get into some interesting things here. And this is everything around staking, not only just for Ethereum, but other assets as well. So could we start to see a renaissance here for staking in ETFs, all of this? If Trump starts to really understand what staking means, that probably is more likely Eric Trump, because he's, I think, leading the digital asset side of things. This could be pretty big for Ethereum as a whole. Here's, of course, Justin Sun saying, hey, I know what we can do with the ETH Foundation under his leadership. He's got a brand new plan to get ETH to 10,000. First week is halt ETH sales. Okay, some of these are pretty good ideas, though. Heavily tax layer 2 solutions, so I think that would be interesting. Streamline the foundation operations. That should be done anyway. Adjust rewards and increase fee burns. And then, of course, that would be, I don't know about that one exactly, but point being is you got to remember, Justin Sun runs, a blockchain already, Tron. And do we take that or not? Maybe there's some good ideas here, though. So I would just look at it as a potential that we're getting a lot of effort around Ethereum as a whole to try to get things to the next level. Now, I've got a clip here from Davos that breaks down a little bit more around what's happening in the industry right now, especially Trump coin. Take a look.
Let's talk about the meme coin then.
The reason I believe it hurts the industry is that you have older people in politics, older people in policy making that still do not understand the industry. And I want the people who are getting introduced to the industry to meet Brian Armstrong. I don't want them to meet the ideas behind the Trump meme coin and the potential negative things that are associated with the Trump meme coin. I just think it's going to slow down some people in the regulatory process.
Here is my thing. I don't think it is for government or for regulators to tell financial consumers which products should come and which products should not be used. Our duty as regulators is to make sure that the products that are there are transparent, they are fair to consumers, and that consumers understand the products that they are involved in. It's not for governments to decide which product. We do not regulate product, we regulate activity. It's not for governments to decide, to even campaign and says, this product and not this product. I don't think that that is the space that regulation should be in.
All right, so of course that was Anthony Scaramucci. He's speaking, I think, a little bit from the Skybridge side of things, his investment platform. And I think, when you do look at investors that are in the boomer crowd, I'm not talking about age, but he did mention older and younger consumers. And I think the point being is that when you look at it, not only Ethereum, but you look at social and the construct of what's happening in blockchain, all of this is moving into a next generation of investors, and they're doing things completely different. So You just have to remember that, and I think that will set you forward. With that being the case, I want you to take a look at this right here. This is Full Stack Anime. You guys know who Azuki is. If you're following our channel, you probably know a little bit about NFTs. We've talked about these before, but they went out and purchased anime.com. So this is going to help, one, foster the potential of distribution, and then eventually infrastructure that's going to ride on AnimeChain, which is a pretty interesting thing here. Now I want to jump to another clip here. And this clip is the Azuki founder talking about AnimeCoin. Listen in.
And back in the day when we used to share things on social media, right? Hashtag this, hashtag that. The hashtag, what did that allow us to do? The hashtag allowed us to share a piece of culture with other people. Whatever the trending topic was, it made us feel involved. Now, with the ticker and Web3, what we have is not only being able to share the culture, now we can own a piece of the culture. So
that is a wild concept.
The ticker is this generation's hashtag. The anime fan base has a community of over 1 billion people worldwide. What AnimeCoin does is it tokenizes the strength and the power of the anime fandom and gives it back to the fans and creators that help shape the culture. What do we want to become? Who do we want to be in terms of our digital identity? And most people want to be anime characters. The PFP, or if you're a VTuber, right? You want to be an anime character.
Why do you think that is?
Because it just looks sick. It's just, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
It just looks sick.
It just looks sick. You bring up a lot of good points.
All right, so he hit on a lot of things there, and I think this is where it pieces together the statement that Scaramucci said, and it really is kind of out of position right now of what the current market is, especially around new investors. And the Azuki founder hit it right there on the head. This is a culture shift, and I think that is the thing that crypto and the ticker has started to reframe. So get ready. We're going to see some things happening. And of course, Anime token is launching on January 23rd, and there you go, the anime image, just because it looks sick. I like that one. I want to go to another clip here, and this next one is going to get into a little bit of detail around NFTs pairing up with these meme tokens and why that matters. This is Luca Netz. Take a look.
I think meme coins have a PMF and an ability to garner a tranche of liquidity that NFTs will never be able to capture. However, I think NFTs are a better form of distribution and a better form of tribalism and a better form of flexing than I think any meme coin can be. I actually believe the pairing of the two is the deadliest combo, i.e. why Pengu and Pudgy Penguins now exist in tandem. And so today, our ecosystem is worth $5 billion. And I think over the course of the coming months, I think it will be worth 20 or 30 or $40 billion. I think the abstract NFT ecosystem might be the thing that brings back NFTs, because every good NFT project that's released in the last year or is going to release is releasing on abstract. If you thought Walmart was special, I think these next few things that you will see will be even more special and even more groundbreaking for the entire industry. So there's a couple projects still doing well. Have to give credit to Azuki's and Doodles.
All right, so Luca first hits on a lot of things there. One, I think, yes, there's some other projects out there. Obviously, what he's talking about with abstract, that's getting ready to roll out as well. That will impact NFTs in a big way. And if you step back and look at what Trump did with the Trump token, I want you to follow something here. Just go over to Magic Eden, and if you scan down, if you go into the Polygon chain, you can see it right there, Trump digital trading cards. Now, that's still one of the top collections out there. And imagine pairing that, what Luca was talking about there, is pairing NFTs with the tokens themselves, just like Pudgy Penguins and Pengu. That's a perfect example of what Trump has been able to do. So back to the whole point here, this is all going to move, I think, blockchain forward really to what most likely will be the next generation of investors. And it's going to happen in a very, very different way, for sure. All right, so how's that going to happen? There's a couple of things that you have to think about. What is going to be an adoption curve that you need to make all this kind of come to reality? Davos is starting to talk about this. Now, Davos is a big, huge economic forum that's held in Switzerland every year, and there were some interesting things said. I want to go to a clip. Take a look.
Hi, thanks for the panel. My name is Yat. I'm chairman and co-founder of Animoco Brands, very active in the crypto space. As an industry, what do you think we can do as an industry so we can build the kind of confidence that we can actually onboard the billions? And when do you think this will happen? Thank you.
That's a great question. So let's talk about mass adoption. Jenny, do you want to start?
Well, I actually think one of the challenges today is, unfortunately, you have to build a whole separate infrastructure to be, wallet. By the way, those securities don't fit in the wallet. You need the tokenizations. And unless your clients are breaking down the door, frankly, they're opening up at Coinbase. And so I think actually this lack of wallet has been one of the challenges that hasn't been integrated on the platforms across the board, and there hasn't been enough incentive to do it.
It's still a little too complicated. I mean, there's these addresses that they don't look like human readable. They look like random strings of numbers and letters. The whole concept of private keys and like potentially losing your money, like this is a non-starter to get to billions of people, I think.
All right, so I think that is it's been the scenario that's been playing out, within the crypto community for a while. But getting to the next stage is going to take the millennials, the Gen X, and the boomer audiences to start to see that going forward. And if you look at, some of the statements out there, this tweet, no more signature spree, streamlined transactions, no multiple signs. I mean, this is the problem that we have right now that lives within crypto. It's a very complicated process. And I would say very, it's very tedious in the sense of getting someone into it, of teaching them how to use it in a wallet in itself, even though there are some out there that are getting a little bit more streamlined. But I think that is the big one. Yatsu was definitely on track to kind of hit on that. I want to go to another point right here, and this is getting into the abstract user demo that I think you guys might like to see. Take a look. So as you can see right here on the abstract mainnet, there's just showing some example of how rewards are being offered here. This, of course, is on Ethereum. And if you look at Flow, they've been actually doing this for quite some time. So this is a very similar possibility. And I think there are some interesting comparisons here that will play out with both of these chains. So be on the lookout for those. Now, we hit this on a tweet we put out just the other day. Breaking Flow becomes the first chain to have full interoperability. 70 chains, all this powered by the Axelar stack. So remember, we had the Axelar team on talking about this very issue and that they were ready to roll out with Flow and many others. And of course, that is now reality. It's starting to go. So this is going to be big for the industry because this is going to really kind of take it to the next level. Here's Axelar talking about this. With Axelar MDS, possibilities to extend far beyond simple bridges or oracles. A user could send a message on Telegram, balance it on Vault, containing collectibles that are stored on Flow, and then all of that can turn and interact with games on a Mutable or a DeFi app. Now, I know many of you are watching that going, what did he just say? Simply meaning that the interoperability between chains, platforms, DeFi, right now, banks do this kind of today, but it's very clunky. Even banks today that have been building a system for 40 years. This technology is now here for blockchain. So I think this is just, and we are at the very beginning. So it's just the beginning of where we're going to see all of this kind of jump to next level. If you look at Flow, their EVM over on Deck Screener right here, yesterday, this just launched yesterday. This only had a handful of tokens on it. And already we've started to see Trump come on here, Avo, Beta, Pump, Pepe's on here. But this is the point I'm getting at, is that we are in the very early stages of some very interesting things starting to roll in. I want to go to another clip real quick. Now this clip is going to get into, again, back to Davos and talk about a little bit more on the stablecoin side of things, because this will also play into things like yields, et cetera. Take a look.
Uncertainty about that fungibility, that dollar fungibility, I think is caused a little bit of a slowdown.
Like take our money market fund. There are massive stable coins out there that are completely unregulated that transact all over the world. Oh, by the way, the owners of the stablecoin collect all the yield to themselves. None of that goes out to the participants. The moment the yield is paid out to the participants, that becomes a security and then gets regulated, and therefore there's been no growth. So I'd actually argue that billions and billions of dollars have been robbed for individuals by not getting the yield on their own money.
I want you to remember what she just said there, robbed by not getting yields on their own dollars. You look at what's happening on the global dollar network. This, of course, is USDG. Tying this in with what's going on with Robinhood, Kraken, et cetera. The opportunity here is going to be interesting because this is going to open up the opportunity of some of these entities to be launching their own stablecoins, be able to offer those kinds of yields. It's going to shift. This is a cataclysmic shift in how finance is going to be done, especially around yield. Now, privacy is another one that factors into all of this because privacy is going to be needed if we're going to really deploy blockchain. And there's been some reasons behind that. I'll get to that in a second, but I want to go to this clip real quick.
We were sort of stalled in doing any work on privacy because of concerns around Tornado Cash and all the issues that came up. We need to get to the place where we're actually focusing on that ease of use, the UX design, but also bringing privacy into it. And then it becomes easy for mass adoption.
All right, so they even mentioned Tornado Cash there, but this was just a statement. This was by Roman Storm. Just want to let everybody know Vitalik is a true warrior who's been trying to help Alexi and me for the past 2.5. This is Tornado Cash. And, you know, the thing here that they are getting at, and remember, Tornado Cash just got overturned by a court just this week. So there are signs right now around privacy that are going to get very interesting. If you look at that and then you compare to what's happening in the idea of government efficiency, because this is one of the first initiatives that's out there. And of course, that is what Elon's heading up, but establishing and implementing the president's Department of Government Efficiency. This is happening now. And what does that mean and what does it do to blockchain? Well, there's a lot of efficiencies that blockchain will represent. Privacy has been one of the problems, though, that has been presented for us to be able to make that happen. Now, I want to go over here and show you guys, this is a clip here real quick of Jon Stewart talking about, it's kind of an interesting one that will apply to what I'm saying here in a second. Take a look.
The ability to pass an audit or the fact that the DOD has not passed an audit is not suggestive of waste, fraud, and abuse. That is completely false right there. So
what is
now it's a question of, it's suggestive that we don't have an accurate inventory that we can pull up of what we have where.
In my world,
yeah,
that's waste.
How is that waste?
If I give you $1 billion and you can't tell me what happened to it, that to me is wasteful. Now, I may not understand exactly the ins and outs and the incredible magic of an audit, but I'm a human being who lives on the earth and can't figure out how $850 billion to a department means that the rank and file still have to be on food stamps. Like, to me, that's fucking corruption. I'm sorry. And if that blows your mind, and if you think like that's like a crazy agenda for me to have, I really think that that's institutional thinking.
You have to look at Homeland Security. This is a good example right here, science and tech. They are in a position where if they're going to use blockchain, it has to be secure, it has to be private to a certain extent. Well, not even to a certain extent, it has to be private because they can't have other governments, other agencies, other entities out there kind of deep diving into what they're doing. So, and I understand that. And I think that's the thing that has really limited Ethereum, at least in the beginning, to be able to do that because the privacy was one of the things that it failed to test on. That, of course, has recently changed. And remember, this was done when they did their original R&D around utilizing blockchain, and none of these passed, you know, on confidentiality, as you can see right there. And that included Bitcoin, Ethereum, Stellar, et cetera. Many, including Hashgraph. All right, so you guys will remember this happened here just not too long ago, and this is private transactions now crossing 50% of the block space. So all of that being said, this is an evolution of where blockchain is going, and I think that's the advantage and the benefits that this technology continues to have. So with all of what you've seen here, Ethereum could be in a position right here to really make a final move. Stay tuned right here. If you guys are not in the Diamond Circle, get in on that. And of course, we always leave a link also to our Telegram group. It's kind of a secret group we have, but there's a link down below. You guys can click that. Join me over there. And of course, if you're not following me out there on X, it's @PaulBaron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.